You gotta be flipping kidding me. Hello friends, welcome. I'm Robin with Zimmy Simple Designs. If you see the red live light, you've got me live. If not, you're watching the replay. Please type in hashtag replay. Say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. Let me know if you're new so I can welcome you to my page. Just as I pushed the button to go live, my phone fell. So I apologize. But we're back up and running, I think. All right, I'm going to try and find myself. Okay, I am live. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, I do apologize. Hey Tracy, we made it. Had a little catastrophe, but I made it. So if you watched the first part of this live, guys, I apologize. Oh my. Oh my. And I'm just finishing up cutting out a crow for our project today. I see people are coming in. Yeah, it's right here. Cleaning up a mess here. All right, there we go. The very last minute, I decided I want a crow for this guy. 15 minutes. So, let's get myself sprinkled here real quick. All right. I don't see comments yet. I hope I'm going to see comments. Sadie. Let's see. Hi, Fatima. How are you? All right. I'm just glad my phone didn't fall in my water. How are you? How are you? This is my segment in Craft Around the Clock. I want to thank you guys for being here. Again, I'm Robin with Zimmy Simple Designs, and I appreciate you coming in, and hopefully you guys can see this. Like I said, well, I see people on, but I'm not seeing comments, so I don't know. Okay, there's Mary. Hello. Sadie, no. Sadie, no. Hey, Tracy. Hi, Kim. Okay, now I'm seeing people come in. All right. And hopefully you guys can see me. Hi, Cynthia. Hey, Susan. Hey, Denise. So welcome to our Fun Friday event, flannel and wood slices. And we are going to, now I have used, this is one of the wood slices. During the holiday, well, during Christmas, you can get these. Hi, Glenna. Hey, Judy. Hi, Anita. I'm good to go. Hi, Lori. Hi, Kefany. Love you, big girl. Hi, Kim. So anyway, you can get these wood slices during Christmas time at Hobby Lobby. I think, though, I ordered this one from Amazon. You can also get them from Amazon. And last year, hi Becca, hi Linda, hey Lori. I took them, of course, they're completely round. I have my husband cut just the bottom off so that it will stand. And last year I made a snowman using this guy, and they were a big hit. Hi Jamie, and people just loved them. But I thought, well, I really didn't want to do another snowman with it. And I was racking my brain. What am I going to do? Flannel and wood slice. And so I thought, well, they've been making the wood shims snowmen and scarecrows, maybe I'll try and make this little guy a scarecrow. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try and make it a scarecrow. I'm not really sure how this is going to work out, but we're going to give it a shot. Hey, Sherry, how are you? Hi, Kelly. So I have stained this. They're actually a lighter color. You can kind of see through there but I did stain this. Hi, Kathy. And we're going to paint it. And I'm trying to use up this French linen. I usually use TP from Nicole with a Frayed Knot, but they're about the same color. And I've got very little of this left, and I'm trying to get it used up. Hi, Babs. Hey, Brenda. Yeah, I'm going to try and see if we can use this stuff up. So we're going to paint this for his face real quick. And I may have to water this down. I don't know. It's kind of thick. And of course, these little wood slices like this kind of drink in the paint and stuff. But it's okay. I don't, it's going to be kind of rustic. It's, you know, it's a scarecrow. He don't have to be perfect, right? But I'm going to use burlap for the hat, and I'm hoping what I want to do, how I want to do this is going to work out. So how was everybody's day? I sat here and watched people, and I made 3 little pumpkins. Hey, Roseanne, how are you? Yeah, they are. I bought several of them last year from Hobby Lobby because they're nice, like I said, nice wood slices. And I made, I don't know, 6 or 7 of the little snowmen out of them. Either for people because they bought them, or I would buy them, or I made a few and put them in my silent auction. But they were really popular. Hi, Teresa. How are you? And I'm trying not to go all the way. Where the outer part of your wood. I'm not going clear to the edge. I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving it that natural look. So we're just going inside the bark, where the bark is. I just kind of went just inside that. I don't know if you can see. So I kind of didn't want to go on that bark part. I wanted to leave it alone. So I'm going to turn my, hey, Cindy. I am, sorry guys, this is loud. Yeah, the bark. I know, my brain, you know. You guys know how it is. Words are hard sometimes, as they say. Words are hard. All right. Get that dry. Hey, Deborah, how are you? All right, that's dry. So I'm going to sand it just a little. Actually, no, it's not all dry. Right there. Has everybody been watching? All right. These Fridays are always fun. Fun, fun, fun. I enjoy doing Fun Friday. So I'm just gonna give it just a little bit more distressing, not a whole lot. My husband took that window air conditioner out today. He decided that we're probably not gonna get that hot again, that we're gonna need it. So he took it out just a little while ago. Well, when he took it out, water dripped everywhere, all over the carpet. I was like, and then he went to set it down, on the carpet. I'm like, it's still dripping everywhere. So he left a big old wet spot. I was like, okay, all right. All right, so I just cut a nose out of a piece of cardboard. And then I've got two little, thank you for sprinkling Denise, you're so sweet. The little half beads for his eyes. So we're going to paint those up. The little nose. And then we're going to try and do this hat. We're going to see if it works. Yes, hers was cute. It was really cute, her little topiary. Pumpkin topiary that Jamie did. I loved it. I need some paint. And I'm going to paint the nose in pumpkin spice. And this is chalk paint from Nicole with a frame knot. And I love this color for fall. Oh, I did not need that much paint. That's for sure. And then we watched, there's no school today. And across the street from us, not directly across, but kind of catty corner from us, is a family, and they have, I don't know, 2 or 3 teenage boys. And their friends come over. And we were watching them. And I swear one of them was going to get hurt. They were old enough to drive, revving their engines, chasing. Oh, it was crazy. I was speeding through the neighborhood. It was, my fear was that one of those boys was going to get hurt really bad or killed. Hi, Darlia. How are you, Darla? All right, I still got more paint, but they were wild. And I know boys roughhouse. I get that. I mean, I had 2 boys, and they always had friends over. Hey, Mary Beth, how are you? And so they can get pretty rough, but when you got vehicles and scooters and that kind of stuff involved, that scared me. You need to be a little more responsible when it comes to vehicles. Things can happen so quick. And I was more, I mean, what they do at their house is fine, but I was more afraid one was going to get hurt. I really was. But they all survived. They all survived today. I'm going to paint my little eyes. I don't like that these beads are shiny, so I usually take chalk paint or I use my top coat, my dead flat. Yeah, they do. They can be scary. It's like they think they're, I don't know, impenetrable or something. It's like crazy. But bad things can happen to them too. And I'm just going to paint them real quick with my Crazy Crow. And we're going to get more of a matte look on these eyes rather than that shine. And I have used the dead flat on them. If you guys, Paint Couture has a top coat that's called dead flat. And you can, if you have any of that, that'll work too. All right. How is your physical therapy going, Roseanne? Hopefully it's going well. Okay, and we're going to paint my crow. I cut a crow out of cardboard too, and I'm going to paint that up. And I guess I should have poured some of this out in here. And I cut this out pretty quick. My little crow. I was kind of in a hurry, so he may be a little wonky. But that's okay. My scarecrow is going to be a little wonky, I think. So it'll fit right in. Oh, there's the train. I like to paint, even though it's cardboard, I do like to paint the edge of, it doesn't completely cover it, but it does cover some. And I like to use cardboard a lot. I didn't have a crow, so, you know, now I do. You just find a pattern and you cut one. Or that's what I do. Okay. And I will dry that. I will let that just dry and then I'll add a face to it. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna dry this spot where I painted. Hi, Cindy. And we're gonna move on. So I have this piece of burlap and it's kind of rough looking. And I just cut a section of burlap that I had. I don't even know how big it is. I just, you know, kind of measured around my wood slice here. And what I'm going to do, hopefully this, like I said, hopefully this is going to work. I've never done this before, so I don't know. We're going to try it and see. I folded up one edge. And I'm just going to lay this. And I kind of want it cocked to the side. I don't want it on the wood slice directly on there. And yes, I'm putting the fold in the front. And I'm going to kind of come down like this. We're going to come down like this in a point. And I'm going to lift that where it's folded. Actually, I'm going to fold this up and fold this up like that. So we have this look right here. And I'll hold that up so you guys can see a little better. So this is what it's kind of looking like. And I'm just going to take, with all of this, I'm just going to take a piece of jute. And I'm just going to tie the top of that. Just like that. And I'm going to, I think I have some raffia. I don't really care for raffia, but we are going to use raffia today. And I'm going to just take a piece of raffia and maybe a few little sections, pieces of it. I'm going to shove it down in there and have it like sticking out. So you're not good with burlap. Pardon me. Sorry, guys. So, like I said, I'm not sure how this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to kind of tighten this just a little bit. And then someplace on this little hat, I really wanted it really rough and rustic looking. I mean, it's a scarecrow. They're not perfect. So I'm going to just kind of put some glue up under here. And hopefully not burn myself. And I like that it's kind of coming apart. It's kind of, you know, it's got pieces coming, you know, off of it and all that stuff. I kind of like that. It was kind of what I was going for. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to add some more glue to the back. Hello, Rita. Hello, Adele. Hey, Yvonne. Oh, your little owl turned out really cute. Hi, Susan. Lisa. So that's what we've got so far. And he's not the best looking, but I just love that it's all kind of frayed and all of that stuff. I like that. So, like I said, I'm just going to take a piece of jute and we're going to cut a piece of jute. I'm just going to wrap this. Up at the top. And we're just going to tie this. And I'm going to cover this with this jute. I've got my burlap here, or my flannel. I have some flannel here we're going to add. Oh, thank you, Yvonne. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia. Tie that tight, as tight as I can. There. And I'll probably have to tack this one section down, but that's okay. This one corner, which is fine. Like I said, I wanted it really kind of rough and rustic. Come on. Hold this. Hey, Jessica. Hold that a minute. There we go. So he's looking okay. He's different. He's kind of looking okay. What you think? I like that it's just kind of, like I said, I like that. So I have this flannel that I've had. In fact, I have a whole nother yard of it. I got it from Hobby Lobby. I don't think you can get it anymore, but I've coffee grunged it, and I love this flannel. I think it's pretty, and we're going to add a patch to this. Thank you for sprinkling, Mary, but I wanted to grab, crap, I forgot to grab it. Hang on a minute. Oh. Shoot. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I meant to grab a piece of, here, I know what I'll grab. I've got something here. I have some drop cloth here. And we're going to add a couple of patches on there. Hey, Peg. You love the hat? So we're going to add some patches to his hat. But I want some of this orange in there. So let's see. I'm just going to cut that right there, and then we're going to get some of the... Hi, Criselda. How are you? Tear that. Give him a couple of patches on his hat. Just up here. And maybe I don't want this. Maybe I just want the one. Maybe one in the back. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe there. And one maybe over here. But I was thinking too, with this drop cloth, This stuff, I may have to, yeah. Just cut it and take my little sander and sand the edges to rough the edges. Like this. This is what I do anyway. A lot of times if I can't tear it, I just take my little gator sander and sand these edges, and it gives it that real rough look, frayed look. It works out great. And maybe add that right there for some little patches. Oops. So let's add this, and I may add some little buttons on there. So I'm just going to use my glue gun, and we're going to glue these down. I really need to get me some Fabri-Tac. But in the meantime, this works just fine. All right. But I might add a couple little buttons on there. But in fact, I'm going to take, because I don't like, hey Gail, how are you? I don't like this edge right here. It's too straight. It's not frayed enough for me on this. I'm looking at you were they were all just too corny. Oh man, them scarecrow jokes, right, Fatima? I've been posting. I posted a really good one the other day on my page. I don't know if you saw it, about the pencil. All right, we're going to glue this one down right here. You know, my dog today, Sadie, I have a little turkey that I've got sitting on the floor for one of my little fall decorations. And it has some raffia on it. And for whatever reason today, she decided that it would be a good thing to chew on. She's never ever bothered things that I've put on the floor before, ever. Well, all the years we've had her. So I don't know what her deal was today. So I had to get after her. She was trying to eat it. She had it all pulled over and was chewing away on it. I'm like, kept hearing her do something. And I was like, what is she doing? And I finally looked. What did one scarecrow say to the other? I don't know, Jamie, what? I don't know. We're going to do that. Just like this. And I think, I'm not sure she's still here, but Tracy will be up after me, I believe, with Craft and Mom's Corner Market. I think that's what I saw. Was she's up next. Absolutely nothing. He had no brain. That's true. They don't. They don't. So that's what it's looking like. There are little patches on there. Like I said, I'm going to add a couple little buttons on there. Dress it up just a little bit. We're gonna give it a little bit of dress up. I think I'm gonna have to add a little bit of glue right here to kind of keep that tacked up. Thank you, Gail, for sprinkling. I appreciate that. All right, we're gonna sand his nose. little here. And I'm going to get my bear wax. And I'm going to add a little wax to him. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You are just fine. You know, sometimes those corny jokes are the best jokes, right? Those old dad jokes, you know. We're just going around the inside of this. Just give it a little bit of age. I need my trash can. I moved my trash can, and every time I go to throw something away, it's gone. It's like, I need to move it back. Hey, Mary. Kim was on before me. She did some cute ornaments. She was talking about ornaments. It reminded me when my mom was living and my kids were little, she, one of the things every year she did for her grandkids was she either made or bought an ornament every year at Christmas time for them. It was one of the things they would get from her every year for Christmas. And she did it for all of her grandkids. When I got married, I had no Christmas decorations at all, none. And she decided at that time that when she had grandkids, she would give them an ornament every year at Christmas time. And then when they got married, they would at least have ornaments to put on a Christmas tree for their first year that they were married. So, oh, thank you, Kefany. You're sweet. All right, let's add his little nose. So, all of my kids, my nieces and nephews, all had enough ornaments to decorate a tree when they first got married. They loved it. And they still, to this day, they still have those ornaments. They would look forward to it every year. They would say, well, we know when Christmas would come around, they would all say, well, at least we know one thing we're getting for Christmas. Christmas ornament. But, yeah, it was. You do that for your grandkids, do you, Glenna? I have not done that for mine, and I probably should be, and I didn't. To pass on that. When your kids left your house, we gave them all your ornament. Oh, wow. That's nice. Hiya, Tanya. How are you? That was sweet. Okay, I'm just squeezing out some of this Tite Bond Speed Set. I'm going to use it to attach the eyes. And it's easier for me to do it like this and apply it with a little paintbrush than to try and squeeze glue on here. Or for me, it works out better. We'll get eyes on him. And I think I am going to use rusty wire, I think, for his mouth. And I'll need to grab that. But where did I put, okay, the raffia. So I have this raffia. And of course, I don't, it's all right, but I try to avoid it. But I thought this needed some raffia. I'm not going to use a whole lot. I just want a little bit to stick out of his hat. This will work right here. I think it'll be just enough. Oh, really? How much you miss getting socks? Yeah. So I'm just gonna, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold this up and let's see, we're just gonna fold it kind of like this. Maybe even one more time. And I'm just gonna put it down inside here and glue it. I think. And then I'll kind of undo it and, you know, cut it. So let's see. I'm gonna just put a dab of glue on here. Just like this. And the best I can, I'm just gonna kind of stick it down in there and hold that a minute. So it's all gonna be sticking up. And I'm gonna clip this. Kind of fan it out like that. So it looks like he's, you know, got stuff coming out of his hat there, like that. I think he's turning out okay. All right. So now I want to add our crow. I have to see what time it is. I got 10 minutes. I was going to add a bow, but I'm not sure. About a bow. I think what I'm going to do is just take, this might be too wide, but let's see. I'm going to lay this down a minute because I want to cover that jute rope up. So I might just tie this around it and tie a bow and leave that. Leave it at that, not make up a bow. Do just a simple shoestring bow here. I was on YouTube last night looking for ideas for hats, for a hat for my scarecrow. And that's kind of where this came from. I was watching a lady and she made the cutest scarecrow out of a tin can. And she did a similar, that's kind of where I got the idea for the hat, was from her on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do, just like that. So let's finish our crow here. Give him a face. Sand him up. I'm going to get my gold nugget. Oops. Like I said, this crow's kind of wonky, but that's okay. Thank you, Fatima. Hi, Rhonda. Well, thank you. Yes, Tanya, he is. He is still loving karate. He's enjoying it thoroughly. We didn't, well, my husband talked to him yesterday, but my husband didn't say anything about him saying anything about karate, because he only goes 2 times a week, but, you know, he's 4, so they don't really, you know, it's with a 4-year-old, you know, their attention span, and he goes twice a week and for a half hour. And, you know, little kids that age, that's about the length of their attention span. But he didn't say anything whether he went. I'm assuming he went this week and had fun. He didn't. But yeah, he is. He's just absolutely loving it. Thank you for sprinkling. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to rinse that brush. I don't want that brush in there. All right, I'm going to dry this. And I'm going to take some vintage lace and we're going to add some eyes. I'm going to glue this on. My body. Like that. And add a couple eyes here. I've got my stylus here. And I'm just going to use it for 2 little eyes. Perfect. And I'm not going to worry about waxing him, I don't think. All right. I'll lay this down. I got about 5 minutes, huh? Okay. And I'm just going to stick it right there. Because you know, what's a scarecrow without a crow, right? Can't have a scarecrow without a crow. Oh, man. Doggone it. I'll have to touch that up. I got white paint on my scarecrow. Thank you, Jessica. Let me touch that up and get that white. That'll be fine. I'll let it dry and touch it up again because I didn't get it very good, but I will touch that up and you won't be able to see it. But that's what he's looking like. I think he's cute. I think he turned out cute. So I want to add some buttons. Just a couple of little buttons, I think, up here on that. Just you know, for added little touch. So I got my button bin here. Thank you. Thank you, Lori. All right. I really think I should get some buttons. What do you guys think? Let's see. I'm trying to think of it. Maybe a little white one. Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you, Cynthia. I don't want that. I gotta think here. What colors I want on here. maybe 3 little guys or something, I think. I have some, I was looking for a little white one. This one's even got string in it. I like to do this sometimes, add little buttons just for a little added detail. I am, Jessica. I'm going to do rusty wire for his mouth. I need to get it out. I need to grab that. But I'd already thought of that far. Thank you, though. I thought that would be cute, too, so I'm glad you said that, because that was my plan. And so, all right. Hi, Karen. How are you? Let's get these on there real quick. Out. And that one. And this little white one. There. Just a little added detail. I like to do that every now and then. How much time do I have? I got a minute. Okay. So, but that's, other than his mouth, I will add a mouth. I will add a rusty mouth to him, but he's pretty much finished. I think he's cute. Make sure you stick around. Like I said, I believe Tracy with Craft and Mom's Corner Market, she's up next. And you guys know she does some really cute things too. I will be watching her. Thank you all for joining me, and make sure you stick around and craft around the clock and see, and some cute, oh yeah, some little rosy cheeks. Good idea, Kefany. Thank you. Anyway, you guys stick around and see what she's going to do, or the next presenter is going to do. I'm sure it's going to be just as cute. You guys have a wonderful, blessed rest of your day. Bye.